Marky, Billson with the Tri-City Sports Now on 1420 WEMB Sports Radio. By the way, the Thunder will play again in Nashville at Nissan Stadium in conjunction with the Tennessee Titans, and you can read about that on their website. As a matter of fact, the Tri-City, so Tri-Cities Thunder, go check them out online. Do the Google search, all that good stuff. Let's get to that point. We're now middle of July. Football training camp's just around the corner. We're going to have the football season begin, and very shortly. Think about this. The training camps are just about set to open, and also the Tennessee Volunteers are going to be playing very shortly. They've already in high school started the morning workouts, as a matter of fact. And I still want to talk about baseball. Daniel Norris is on a bump tonight. It didn't start on Friday. Tigers actually, they said, well, let's see. We're going to have the pick of our litter. We've had 4 off days on who we can start to begin the season with. They weren't going to go with the guy who had lost 8 straight games. I couldn't believe when I was hearing that Norris could pitch today. No. That wasn't going to happen. However, the Las Vegas has come out with some information on the Tennessee Volunteers, and it is that they have set the over-under on the Volunteers' victory total. And you know what? I think this is right exactly where I would have chosen it. 6.5. They're obviously not going to win a half a game. So the over-under, they think that Tennessee will go to a bowl game, and 6-6 will get you there. Winning record, maybe not. Here's the over-under in the SEC East. The favorite in Vegas is Georgia with 11 victories. Then it's Florida. Our women are the fairest. Our men are the squarest. 9 victories for the Gators. That's the over-under. And you can push on these. They're not even giving you a half. Missouri, the Tigers, 8.5. I'm tempted to take the over on that one. Tennessee, 6.5. That's about right. I do not know. Kentucky, 6.5. Boy, it's hard to bet against Stoops. I would think that the Wildcats would regress from 10 victories, sure, but, to 6-6, it's Stoops. I'm going with Stoops there. South Carolina, only 5.5. Wow. Jake Bentley? And then Vanderbilt, they project them worst record in the SEC because they're Vanderbilt, 4.5. Nobody is going to bet on Vanderbilt to win 11 games. You got to remember that. So you keep that a little bit low. Alabama, 11.5 is their over-under. Interesting. LSU is 9. Auburn is 8. Texas A&M, 7.5. Mississippi State, 7.5. Arkansas, no, it's Arkansas, 5.5. Chad Morris hire didn't look all that good. And then Ole Miss. I'm going to talk about Matt Luke, too. 5.5. Or, excuse me, Ole Miss is 5. Ole Miss is 5. Westgate, Las Vegas Sportsbook. Here they come out. Who's the favorite to win the SEC? Let's say it all together. Alabama. And you got about $7 to win 4 if you're betting on Alabama to win the SEC if they do it. 4-7. It's almost 1-2. Like I said, those are horrible odds. So why don't you go for Georgia at 3-1, Florida 8-1, LSU 10-1, Auburn 16-1. Hey, this is getting a little boring. Can you tell me this? Where's Tennessee? Sure, 100-1. Same as South Carolina, even though over-under for victories is South Carolina at 5.5. Or Carolina, if you prefer. So they're putting on their helmets now. And UT at 6.5. So the Vegas, or at least the Westgate Las Vegas Sportsbook, has given Tennessee 6.5. That's their over-under. But South Carolina, 5.5, but they give them both the same odds to win the SEC, 100-1. Neither's going to win the SEC. Who's the least likeliest to win it? Kind of interesting. Ole Miss and Arkansas at 300 to 1. Vandy actually gets at 200 to 1. Actually, let me get the South Carolina. I'm mistaken here. South Carolina is 60 to 1. I think that's a Bentley, idea there. 60 to 1 to win the SEC. So I'm mistaken. I apologize there. South Carolina 60 to 1 to win the SEC. Tennessee 100 to win, tied with Kentucky. However, they've got the over/under for victories at 6.5 for Kentucky, and they've got the over/under at South Carolina at 5.5. By the way, South Carolina with what is projected by Phil Steele to be the toughest schedule in the United States. I mean, they got to go play Clemson and the SEC East and all those teams. So anyway, we can get by those guys. Yeah, 60 to 1. Okay, Tennessee's 100 to 1. In reality, neither of these teams are going to win the SEC, nor will Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, or Ole Miss. And Missouri is prohibited as it stands right now. Next month they could get an appeal, and I'm kind of curious to see what their odds would be then. I think that's a dark horse. Right now Missouri is on a year's probation, but they're appealing it, and I kind of think they might just win it. Such. Also talking Tennessee football, if I may, they did a video game with the Vols. Because SEC Media Days, which I think are very overrated, Tennessee talks tomorrow, but anyway, here's the deal. Simulation of Tennessee's 2009 season by SG1 Sports on NCAA Football 14. Okay, so it is the final iteration of the popular EA Sports video game, updating the game with 2019 rosters, simulating games for teams across the SEC and the rest of college football. Now, they don't pick Tennessee to do all that well. Oh, they think they'll beat BYU 38 to 28, which, I actually BYU's got a real good quarterback. And they actually have Tennessee taking Florida into overtime before falling. Wow, that doesn't happen much. All right, Georgia 36, Tennessee 28. That's their simulation, the SG1 Sports. But then, wait a minute, Mississippi State 27, Tennessee 20. Okay. Hey, Tennessee takes Alabama to a field goal of Alabama, 36-33. Now, wait a minute here. This is where the game starts to... South Carolina 27, Tennessee 25. Well, I guess the Muschamps never lost to the Vols. Kentucky 35, Tennessee 28. And then, and I just don't see that, Tennessee 38, Missouri 14. And then they've got Vandy beating Tennessee in Neyland 30 to 27 in OT, assuming victories against Chattanooga, UAB, and Georgia State. That would leave Tennessee at 5-7. And if that happens this way, people are not going to be happy with Jeremy Pruitt and company and Jarrett Guarantano, and that will be the beginning of the end for those guys. However, I would point this out. What did Tennessee finish last year? 5-7. They're doing simulation updated rosters, but they basically got last year's stats to go with. I know, I used to play these simulated games all the time, okay? Now, that being said, I mean, it's something worthwhile to look at. These simulated games that they do, but again, you're playing Stratomatic, if you will, there's a game, with last year's team against this year's schedule in so many ways. Again, I mean, they're telling you right there, okay, bet the under on a 6.5 for Tennessee in terms of a victory total. I just am somewhat surprised in the games that they're choosing that they'll win and lose and what they think will be close and what they think won't be. Yeah, I don't see the Vols defeating Missouri 38 to 14, not with Kelly Bryant with the Tigers and that offensive line. I don't see. I think that it's probably time for Vanderbilt to, lose to Tennessee, and I think that especially in Neyland, and I just never pick Kentucky to beat Tennessee. I also don't pick Alabama or Florida to ever lose to Tennessee. I learned my lesson 2017 with Florida and Tennessee. All right. When we come back, my old friend Vito Stellino, he's going to be joining me. We're going to talk about the Hall of Fame, the NFL, and more. Tri-Cities Sports Now coming back after this.
Schumacher and Associates.